Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're going over the best differential players for your Game Week 1 squads. These are players with an ownership of around 15% or lower that are great players for improving your rank early on in the season. If you guys are looking forward to the new FPL year or are new to the channel, leave a like and subscribe. It really does help us out. And to not miss any future FPL videos in the build up to Game Week 1, have those notification bells turned on. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So let's have a look at the first batch of differential players, starting off with Heung-min Son. I think he is an excellent differential option for the midfield. Not many people have really spoken about Son at all. He's got nowhere near as high ownership as either of his Spurs teammates in Maddison and Kane, and a lot lower ownership than some of those other 8 to 9 mil midfielders, even 7.5 to 9 mil midfielders. I think Son has shown in the past that he can be such a productive FPL point scorer. Had back-to-back 200-point seasons before a stinky season last year by his standards. Just the 138 points, put up 10 goals and 6 assists. Still a decent output, but when he's at his best, he is so productive. Was tied for Golden Boot a couple of seasons ago with Mo Salah, and now seeing his price drop to £9 million. If he can get back to that previous form that he was in the last couple of seasons before last, he could be one of the highest scoring midfielders once again. Especially with Spurs having a new manager, having James Maddison in midfield. I think they're going to be a lot more of an attacking side this season, and seeing Son at 9 mil at the same price as the likes of Rashford, just 0.5 more than Saka and Odegaard, I think he is going to be an excellent differential pick. Just a 5.6% ownership. He's shown that he can score well in the past, and I do think he can return to this elite form. So I think for that reason, Son is a great differential midfielder. Moving on to Andy Robertson as the second pick. I like him a lot at 6.5 million. He's a big differential when you compare him to his Liverpool teammate in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, Trent at 1.5 mil more is quite a big price gap between the two, a lot bigger than in previous seasons, so that could make Robertson a much more appealing option this year. Also, his ownership is way lower than Trent's. Trent's ownership close to 40% compared to Robertson, just with a 3.8% ownership currently. He could be an excellent differential pick. Was one of the highest scoring defenders in the last couple of seasons, excluding last year, and there's no reason why he can't return to those numbers if Liverpool can just increase their clean sheet tally. It was a little bit down last season in terms of picking up clean sheets. Robertson always has that good attacking potential. 7 assists last season, had the 4th highest expected assists amongst defenders, had the 3rd highest attempted assists, so he's got some very good attacking stats. Not quite as good as Trent, but still very good underlying numbers. And when you compare him to the rest of the defenders in the game, he is one of the most attacking options in terms of providing chances for his teammates. Always has very strong underlying numbers in terms of attempting assists and expected assists. Clean sheets, just as the thing that Liverpool need to work on this season. Only the 10 clean sheets for Robertson last year. If they increase that tally, Robertson and Trent will be 2 of the highest scoring defenders. But if you're looking for a differential to Trent at 1.5 mil cheaper, it'll allow you to spend a little bit more money elsewhere in the team. Robertson could definitely be the go. And Gabby Martinelli here as well at 8 mil in that Arsenal midfield had some superb underlying stats last season and is one of the lower owned Arsenal midfielders between him, Odegaard, and him and Odegaard as well. And also Gabby Jesus. When you look at those other Arsenal attacking options, Martinelli nearly scored 200 points last season, only has a 14% ownership, a lot lower than some of his other Arsenal teammates at 8 mil as well. He's a little bit cheaper than Odegaard and Saka, which does make his appeal a little bit higher. Put up 15 goals and 9 assists last season and had the highest expected score involvements per 90 out of any Arsenal player. So that is very good numbers to have, especially considering that Saka does take penalties and Odegaard is on some free kicks as well. So to get a player that is the cheapest Arsenal midfielder between Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli with the highest expected score involvements per 90, he could be a very good value option. Only £8 million and a very low ownership of 14%. He could be a big differential in midfield. If you're looking to double up on Arsenal midfielders, I would recommend Saka and Martinelli as my 2 picks. I probably wouldn't go Odegaard at 8.5. I do like Martinelli with those underlying stats at half a mil cheaper and a fair bit lower ownership as well. I think Martinelli could be an excellent differential in that Arsenal midfield, especially with some really good fixtures to start the new season. Forest at home, Game Week 1, and some great fixtures after that as well. Let's have a look at the next batch of differential players, starting off with the forward Alexander Mitrovic. He's coming in at £7.5 million, Only scored the 107 points last season, but that is because he had so many reduced minutes due to suspension. A very low ownership of just 6.1% as well. I think he's going to be an excellent differential forward. Ollie Watkins is very popular at 8 mil at half, half a mil more than Mitrovic. His ownership's way higher. I think Mitrovic, when you compare him to some of those other forward picks, he's a very low-owned forward comparatively to the players around his price point. So I think he could be an excellent differential player to own up top at the start of the year. Everton away game week 1, then Brentford at home game week 2. Two superb fixtures to start the new season. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitrovic can net goals in each of those first 2 games. He typically starts a new Premier League campaign well. He did that last season, and he did it in the previous year when Fulham were in the Premier League. He had a very, very good XG last season, considering that he only played around 2,000 minutes, an XG of nearly 15, and per 90 of all players that played 2,000 minutes last season, Mitrovic did have the highest XG amongst forwards. So I think he is a very, very good option to go after for that reason. He gets so many chances, has an extremely high XG per 90 when he plays, has okay expected assists, definitely more of a goal scorer though, just a 2.55 expected assists last season. But once again, after Fulham had that year in the Premier League, they were very, very good, proved themselves to be a solid promoted team. I think they're only going to build on last season. Mitrovic is only going to get more chances, and if he can play out the whole season, I reckon he could be one of the highest scoring forwards. So with just a 6.1% ownership, having the highest XG per 90 of amongst forwards that have played 2,000 minutes, I think he's an excellent differential option. Alexander Zinchenko as well, and that Arsenal defense could be a really, really good pick. A 5 mil defender at the same price as Gabriel and Saliba, and he's cheaper than Ben White. He's got a very low ownership compared to some of those other Arsenal players at the back, whether it's Ramsdale or Gabriel as well. He's another popular Arsenal pick, but Zinchenko with just a 14.4% ownership, he could be an excellent option to start the new season. He had the highest expected score involvements per 90 out of any Arsenal defender last year with 0.12. So for that reason, a very, very good pick to go after. 12 expected clean sheets last season, a 1.6 XA. He had the highest shots per 90 out of any Arsenal defender, the highest attempted assists per 90 out of any Arsenal defender, and the highest expected FPL points per 90 out of any Arsenal defender last season. So all the underlying numbers say that Zinchenko will be the best Arsenal defender this season based on last year. Just whether he can put those points on the board. Only had the 26 starts last season. Hopefully he can get fairly consistent minutes this season. He could be a really, really good pick for Arsenal at £5 million. And Jordan Pickford as well, 4.5 mil, is a relatively popular goalkeeper. I kind of cheated here on Pickford. He had a 16.4% ownership. I wanted to go for players with a 15% ownership or lower, but Pickford around there, I wanted to include him in this list. Not quite as popular as Aaron Ramsdale. He's the most popular goalkeeper by quite some way. A lot of keepers have a similar ownership to Pickford at around 15%, but I think he could be a standard option to start the new season. Just £4.5 million. Everton have excellent fixtures to start the new year. Fulham at home game week 1, I think it's a really, really good fixture. Pickford had 8 clean sheets last season and made one of the most saves, so the third most saves in fact out of any goalkeeper last season with 124. His expected clean sheets weren't very high at 8.98, and his expected goals conceded were actually the highest out of any goalkeeper last season. But under new management with Sean Dyche, I think Everton can increase their defensive solidarity. Pickford has a great balance of clean sheet and save potential as well, obviously being one of the biggest savers in the Prem last season. For that reason, I really like him. Scored 124 points last year. Wasn't too far off some of those keepers priced at 1 to 2 mil higher than him. So I think for that reason, Pickford with the good starting fixtures could be an excellent starting goalkeeper for game week 1 with a fairly low ownership in comparison to Aaron Ramsdale. Thanks for watching today's best differential players for game week 1 of the new FPL season. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of these differential players. Is there any other ones that have caught your eye with a low ownership? I'll be interested to see in the comments. As always, have those notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future FPL uploads in the build up to game week 1. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.